Is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey everyone, it is Brian Kaz here, joined by my friend and business partner, Sean Casey. We have another Wednesday marketing webinar for you this week. And on this week, it'll basically be on examples of your businesses and what to do to better market them. So several days back, we emailed out some emails basically asking to send in examples of businesses that you're in or stuff that you do as an affiliate or businesses you own or whatever. And we'd pick a handful and basically talk about stuff that we do to market them better. Now, this is a little bit different than like a website analysis, which we sometimes have done in the past. So this won't really focus as much on the SEO side compared to like stuff that you can actively do to market it more. Of course, we still recommend that, any site you have, obviously you want to optimize that. Obviously you want to fix up your site and stuff like that. So I might like briefly touch on a few things if I think that they'd be relevant there, but we'll be focused basically more on the marketing side of that. Now, this is probably one of the more popular responses that we've gotten. We actually got a ton of responses back, and that's a good thing. Although we certainly wouldn't have time to go through all of them because we'd be here a very, 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 very long time. But with that, I picked kind of like a handful of them that I think will be a good representative of like, basically different kinds of businesses. Because oftentimes a lot of the tips overlap a lot. So like if there's two kinds of affiliate products, the way you market them isn't all that much different. Likewise, if you're selling e-commerce stuff, the way you might market those oftentimes doesn't really change a ton. So even if yours isn't picked here, you can still use the stuff basically taught here and apply it to yours just as well. So this will be a pretty fun call right here. Now, as always, in case you are new here, we have these calls every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, which is right now. We'll have a live training and or Q&A call. And if you're here or you're registered for this series, you'll get a reminder each week, so you don't forget. But if you can't make one, we'll have the recordings in the members area, usually within about a day of any of the calls being done under the training tab. So on the left side navigation bar, you'd click on the training button, and then you'd see one where it says Wednesday calls. You'd click that, and you'll see a list of all the calls with the most recent ones at the very top. And again, this one will probably be posted up either later today or tomorrow morning or so at the latest. So you'll see this one at the very top, but you can feel free to check old ones to see if there's any topics that are of interest to you. And what we also do too, the majority of them will have the recording as well as a PDF of the slides. So if you prefer the slides, that's fine. Obviously, we sometimes talk about stuff that's not necessarily on the slide. So if you can watch the recording, that's usually better. Then a handful of them, like the website analysis ones, we just have the recordings instead of the PDF because most of it would be basically on the screens, which will be a lot like this one right here. It'll be a lot more interactive and less on slides and stuff. And as always, if you want to win or if you want a chance to win $100 today, make sure to join our free Facebook group at getwebfire.com/FB group. And if you're not a free member of that yet, you can go right there. It will forward you to the Facebook group. Just click the join button. And Sharon will have you approved probably within a couple minutes or so. And then towards the very end of this call, we'll basically talk about what you have to do there to get a chance to win $100 that will actually PayPal over to the winner at the end of this call. And we'll actually do the drawing live in front of you all towards the end. So stay tuned for that right there. Now we can move on to the training for this week, where again we'll be talking about how to better market your businesses that you sent in for us to review. So we'll first start with basically an overview of some of the businesses and how we'd start marketing them. Then we'll do some live kind of demonstration of like a handful of tools and stuff, especially in like WebFire and stuff like that, on how we'd use them for some of the businesses. We won't do that for every business. It's going to take a really long time, but for some, we'll give like a brief overview and some examples of stuff that you can do and searches and stuff and how you can market that. Then we'll have some time for Q&A if you guys have any questions. Of course, you can ask any questions you want throughout the call, and Sean and Sharon are also on this call, and they'll be answering questions that you have, and towards the end, if there's any left, we'll also answer some live and such. But I have a quick question for you guys, and you can basically answer by basically typing in a 1 or a 2. So we had a lot of submissions. We probably have had enough to do easily several calls on this, but we thought we'd ask you guys if you want to have 2 calls on this to basically allow us to go over more sites, or if you didn't have a chance to send yours in, you could still send in yours and we can look over that. If you want to spend basically 2 calls on this, going over more business types and stuff, giving examples of how we would market it and what we do, just type in a 1. And if you'd rather just have the 1 call, but of course we would only do a fraction of the businesses on 1 call, you could just type in a 2. So we'll leave it up to you guys on what you'd like to do there. So again, just type in a 1 if you'd like us to have 2 calls on this to basically cover more businesses, or type in a 2 if you just want to have the 1 call on it and something new next week. So they'll kind of help us make sure that we give you guys the content and such that you want. So having said that, we'll move on now to a handful of the sites that were sent in, or a handful of businesses, because not all the businesses had sites. So we'll basically talk about how we would market that. So I'm just going to pause the screen for a moment here as I switch on over to my web browser. All right, and let's see what you guys answered in your survey. All right, so it looks like the vast majority of you are saying that you'd want 2 calls on this. So we'll probably do that then for next week as well. All right, so what I'll do right here is the first example we have right here. You'll see the site. It's dietbusterbook.com. And as I said, we'll jump kind of into the marketing side of it. I won't really touch base too much on the SEO side, because of course, you always want to make sure that you target good keywords, especially in your title tags and all that stuff. So I won't go into too much on that. We'll focus a bit more on the marketing side. But right off the bat, I just want to make a quick suggestion here. And one is, on your site here, it's a bit hard to actually read what you have, and you want a headline that pops out. And to me, what pops out immediately, I see a gal reading a book, having a couple drinks, doesn't really necessarily make me think about a diet or anything like that, and it's kind of almost more of a distraction, and it's very hard to read the words that you have here. The white font, especially with the moving white stuff in the background occasionally, it's hard to read that. The lifestyle word is a bit hard to read. It's kind of, your headline doesn't pop out. And anytime that person has a hard time reading like that, it makes it look a bit, less professional, and can hurt conversions and stuff like that. But having said that, the basic background of this right here, if memory serves, they had a book that essentially was, how to lose weight without having to actually diet. So you can still kind of eat the food that you love and stuff like that, which is a great, concept as a whole. Obviously, if people could lose weight while still eating the food that they like, that's a win-win, because obviously there's a lot of diets that restrict you from doing a lot of stuff. So it's an interesting concept right there. Now, as far as the marketing side of it, if memory serves, I believe this was the person that said they weren't a fan of Amazon or Facebook ads or stuff like that. And my response to this, there's a handful of people that say, you know, I don't like ads, or I don't like listing stuff on Amazon, or I don't like this, or I don't like that. And my response back is like, you know, it doesn't really matter what you personally like. Do what gets you the most sales. So usually when people say they don't like Facebook ads or they don't like Amazon or stuff like that, it's because they had a poor prior experience. But if you were able to get sales on either of those, I'm sure you'd probably learn to like them. It'd be kind of dumb not to. So I definitely would look into that, because especially like Amazon, they can sell a lot of books. And you're really limiting yourself by saying, oh, I don't like this place, so I don't want to list my stuff there, or I don't like, you know, the concept of Facebook ads, so I won't use that. So again, I encourage you not to think like that, because you really limit you know, the amount of opportunities. Because like right in this case, you know, Amazon's one of the biggest, I think the biggest seller of books out there, and you as a book person, you can't just say, well, I want to basically ignore the big seller, because that tends to, you know, hurt more than it basically helps. Same with Facebook. They can get a huge amount of traffic. You don't want to just say, oh, you know, I want to ignore the biggest amount of traffic and look elsewhere instead. There's not really a logical reason to that right there. The other thing that I would do really quick right here is, you know, make sure that your main points or the main benefits basically pop out. So right now you're saying that you can lose weight without dieting. So my first thought is, oh, does this mean I have to exercise a ton? Well, I already know that if you exercise a ton, you know, you can also lose weight, but that's also not all that fun. So you really don't get your point, you know, across. And again, without reading the book, I don't know exactly what that is, but try to think of what you can do to hook the person in. Like, you know, how to lose weight without dieting, without exercising, and then say with just, you know, a handful of simple changes that you won't even notice. You know, that gets a lot more attention, and it'll be like far more likely to draw the person in. Now, I love the fact that you have social proof and stuff like that. I believe you said there was this gal right here lost 80 pounds. I love the before and after picture, because it looks like, you know, on the left side, definitely looks like she has some weight on her, and on the right side, she looks like super skinny. And that's, you know, a really awesome example right there. I like how you use that. One more thing before I dive into other stuff that you can do more so on the marketing side. If you click on the buy book, the price point you have is really odd, $21.95. So I'm not sure if you tested that price point. My guess is not. But you know, usually that's a really odd price, because you know, at 22 bucks, my guess is that just shy of 20, you know, would probably get more sales than that. And if you're at 22 bucks, you know, and you really want to sell it for more than 20, my guess is that, you know, 25 or 29 would probably make you more than 22. So just food for thought right there. Ultimately, you want to test that stuff. But a few things that you can do on the marketing side is, you know, online, there's a ton of people that are probably asking questions and stuff on, like, you know, what the best kind of diet is. Is this diet better? Is that one better? Or lots might ask, is there a way to lose weight without exercise? Is there a way to lose weight, you know, without cutting back on food? And like all sorts of questions like that. And what you can do is you can actually go out there to these forums and Q&A sites and so on. And you don't have to do this every day. I mean, even like once a week, take maybe like a half hour a week or like an hour a week, you know, more if you want to be ambitious, and just answer a bunch of questions out there, like saying, yes, it is possible to lose weight without, you know, exercise or diet. And it usually involves little things like this and that. and then say, if you want a more complete list, you can feel free to check out a video I made here, or feel free to check out a blog post I made here on that, and have that be kind of like a bridge page almost. So it's kind of, it gives some information on the video or on the blog post, and then kind of leads them in to your complete book right there. Now, having said that too, right here, you're selling a book for $22. Again, I would encourage you to maybe play around with the price right there. You might find that $49 makes you a lot more. You might find that, $19 probably sells more than, like the 22. You can play around with that, but either way, you absolutely have to look into upsells and stuff that you can have behind that. It's very hard to make money off of just a book. Are there examples of people that have done that well? Sure, but those are exceptions to the rule. Most people that have a book tend to make the majority of their money on the back end. So I'd encourage you to look into maybe some kind of like a coaching program, or some kind of like, I don't know if you talk about like special kinds of recipes or easy exercises or anything like that. But even having like, a daily email tip or a daily exercise for them to try, or some kind of thing like that, and it doesn't have to be that hard to make, even like an autoresponder with like one tip every day. It's something that can get you some kind of cash flow in, and it's an easy upsell path. Coaching doesn't have to be one-on-one. It can be even like a webinar series that you record ahead of time, or even just a series of videos, anything like that, to kind of have more offers in there. Or if there's any kind of special equipment or anything like that that you think helps a great deal, you can again offer that, a ton of room to make a lot, especially if you're looking to do like paid ads, which is always a good idea. That's not really a lot of room to make a profit. Is it possible? Is it possible? Yeah. But if you're able to, let's say, have like an upsell or two and move, your value from basically about $20 a person to twice that, that leaves you a lot more room and a lot more opportunities to spend more, to grow faster and make more at the same time. Now, using stuff like Webfire, you can go in here, and in this case, I just opened up the Q&A lead Firestorm tool, and you can play around with like different kinds of keywords and stuff, and there's several different lead tools and stuff that could work. Like, again, you can search the Q&A lead tool, the real-time lead one, the rank lead one, even the social one, and find people out there asking questions on losing weight, asking questions on dieting, stuff like that, and just go out there and, again, as I said, spend maybe a half-hour a week answering questions. Now, it's not like you're going to just one lead each time. If you answer one lead, there might be dozens to hundreds or thousands of people over time that see the answer that you gave right here. And in this one, I just said lose weight without dieting. Now, you can probably think of a bunch of other terms there. And right here, we see a bunch of people asking all sorts of questions on that, right there. Like, here's one that's blunt right here. Can you lose weight without dieting? And just taking even just like, again, a couple minutes to basically answer that over time can get you a decent amount of traffic and stuff, and basically flow all that traffic to wherever you want, as long as you answer it in a way where you provide value first and foremost. The other thing that you can do, because it looks like you have the social proof, I think you also said that, I think you used memories, I could be wrong on this, but I think you were, because there were a couple guys that had basically diet type books. There's one that said they got their mom to lose like a lot of weight. I think that was this one right here. If that's the case, one other thing that you can do is you can go to the guest blogging tool right here and try to reach out to places, like do a search on that for weight loss or anything like that, and find all these blogs that accept guest blog posts for stuff in the weight loss niche. And then again, you can use that tool right there to reach out to all those places with a click of a button, email them or click on their links and submit info to them, where you can basically offer to do a guest blog post where you provide value, you know, on how to do what you basically did, and feature the case where, you know, you had the gal that lost 80 pounds without having to diet and without having to exercise. That's the kind of thing that, you know, pretty much I'm guessing everyone on this call, you know, their interest would probably be piqued if you said, hey, there's a way to lose lots of weight, and here's an example of how a lady lost 80 pounds without being on a diet, without exercise, and also I'd probably say without like surgery and stuff like that. That would pique a lot of interest, and you can kind of set yourself up to be an expert. And when you do these guest blog posts there, it's a cool story. You can establish yourself as, you know, an expert. You can talk a bit about, you know, a handful of tips and stuff that you do, and kind of, you know, leave a link that then, of course, would go back to your main site where they could find out more about you or get your book or anything like that. Now, after you establish yourself on the guest blog sites, that gives you even more credibility, where you can say that you've been featured on all these sites right here. And at that point, you could also go and reach out to even larger, you know, sites, or even possibly out to like the media, and try to see if there's anywhere where you could like basically again establish yourself and be featured as a guest on weight loss. There's also sites like one off the top of my head is helpareporter.com. I believe that's the one right there, where you can join sites like that, say what you specialize in, and when reporters are basically looking for experts in certain fields, they will ask basically questions and seek out experts on sites like that, and you can basically answer questions and such there to help them, where they'll quote you, and they can quote, you know, you and your site and stuff like that. Occasionally there might be like a media opportunity and stuff like that for you as well, to kind of blow that up a bit more. But I definitely would do both those right there. And again, it's not like you have to spend a ton of time, even with like an hour or so a week. That'd be a great start. But I'd also look into, you know, I know you initially said you didn't like Amazon. This is the same guy, and you weren't a fan of Facebook. I would encourage you to actually look into both of those as well, because I think you're actually neglecting quite a bit of possible sales right there. And on top of that, I'd also look into making videos and stuff like that, which again, you could use the video Firestorm tool right here, and just try to basically target various keywords and stuff, and make little short videos on how to lose weight without exercise, how to lose weight without being on a diet, and just, you know, a whole bunch of stuff like that. You can even use the keyword tool right here. Right here. Go down to SEO and keywords, and then keyword tool right there, and just see what kinds of keywords are out there related to like you know, lose weight without exercise, lose weight without, you know, diets and stuff like that, and just try to like make blog posts or videos that try to basically target those various keywords and questions that people ask, to really kind of expand your spider web and capture a lot of additional traffic and such there. So that's as a couple things I do, but definitely also consider looking into the upsells, even easy ones, as I really think that will make a major difference for you in terms of what you can get out of that. But again, congratulations on a decent site there. Congratulations on the social proof. Again, I changed a couple things on your site, but you have a great start there, great social proof, and I think a great concept as well. So Sean, unless you have anything to add, we can move on to the next one.
Oh, I think that's all great.
All righty. So let me just pick another one right here. All right. So the next one, this is one that it looked like they didn't have a site, but they had a Facebook page, but they sent over a link that didn't seem to load. It just said the Facebook page wasn't there. So I'm not sure if they sent over the wrong link, or if the page was down. But either way, I thought it was an interesting one that was kind of a bit of a challenge, I'd say, for most, but a cool concept that I thought was worthwhile to basically talk about, because it's kind of having to have you think outside the box a bit. So in this case, The guy was from Australia. I think he was on the western part. And he was saying that he wanted to sell Medic Seed. Now, I didn't know what Medic Seed was. I thought it was like maybe like a medical type thing. So I had to Google it at first. And I thought I'd leave this up here just so I could easily explain it to you all right there. It's basically kind of like seed or plant that you can like plant, from my understanding, where it doesn't need a ton of rain. It can grow really well, and it's basically used to forage and such. So if you have a bunch of cattle and stuff like that, you can grow a bunch of this and they can forage on that, and it doesn't need like, you know, upkeep and stuff like that. And the stuff that I read on it saying that it was really basically starting to catch on, especially in Australia where he's looking to basically sell, where, you know, it's not terribly expensive to do, fairly easy, and it had a lot of nutritional value and stuff like that. But he's looking for ways to market to them. And he said he started last year, but they usually only sell, I think he said between February and April, if memory serves. So it's like a limited span of time that almost all the sales take place right there. And he said one of the issues is, you know, there's not a handful of competitors, but the ones out there, you know, all seem to basically advertise in the same farm magazines and stuff like that. And he also said that he thought that the farmers themselves were like old timers that, you know, don't use Facebook and don't, you know, and don't do anything online, so that it was harder to reach them. And I would actually challenge that a little bit. So you might think that they don't use Facebook. You might think that, you know, they're old timers, and in a lot of cases that very well could be the truth. But I guarantee at least some of them are on Facebook. Some of them are online. In fact, you know, I've known a lot of people, even the ones that like are like 90 plus, that, you know, never really used computers much their whole lives, and you know when they're retired, they basically have taught themselves to use it, and without me knowing, you know, they're on Facebook, they're playing around, they're doing research, they use it a lot more. We've also had products that we've sold that we at first thought, okay, these kind of products right here, you know, probably won't sell to the older crowd because the older crowd probably isn't into it. They're probably not as online as much. And it turned out in the end that in a lot of those cases, not all, but in a lot of the cases, the older crowd were the better buyers, and they were indeed online and looking at the stuff. So I'd encourage you not to assume anything there. So just because you think that doesn't mean that that's the case. What you'd want to do to basically test that is you could do an easy campaign on Facebook where you basically target people in Australia. You target maybe like farmers and such. You could see people that have an interest in farming, people that own a farm. There's a lot of various interests and stuff that you could target. You could geo-target, you know, almost the exact area that you want to sell in, and just give it a shot. You don't have to have a large budget at all. Now, I don't know what your margin of profit is. I don't know what your volume is. I don't know any of that, so it's a bit hard to say exactly how much you have to play with right there. But assuming you have a decent margin, you could play around with some ads right there. And basically, I'd say in the ad itself, you know, I don't know if people would know what Medic Seed means there or not, because, you know, I'm not from there. I'm not a farmer there. But, you know, if they don't know exactly what that means, you know, you could have an ad that says, you know, a bit more generically, you know, hey, you know, learn how this, you know, forage seed or plant, or, you know, some term that a farmer would use there. You know, you probably would know that a lot more than me, but, you know, learn how this forage seed right here can get, you know, X amount more times nutrition at, you know, a fraction, you know, of the upkeep and cost. You know, that sounds appealing, especially if it's, hey, you're getting more for less, or like anything like that, and then have the ad itself lead to almost like a mini sales page where you explain what the Medic Seed itself is, and then you explain why it's better, how it's easier. So it's not only better, it's easier at the same time because it doesn't have to have a lot of rain. It might have a lot of nutritional value and stuff like that. Whatever it is, right there, you explain it all right there, and then have kind of like a special offer that you're having for like a limited time, where they can grab some, right there. So that's what I would try right there, right off the bat, because it wouldn't take a fairly large budget to basically test that. You can also, of course, on the same time on AdWords, the guy also said that there's not a ton of people searching for that online. I would double check that. I would use the keyword tool, verify like how many searches a month are being done for Medic Seed, and you know anything like that. And it certainly might not be a ton there, but you have to verify that first. And then after you do that, you still want to try to rank there, and maybe have some AdWords ads, because again, it's probably not terribly expensive. And if you're like one of the only guys there, you're fighting with a lot less. And of course, you could always try the same thing if your competition is all advertising in a farmer's magazine and stuff like that. You should probably be there too as a test, but maybe make sure that you have a good landing page, a good ad, and all that right there. You can also go inside a Webfire and use like the lead tools and stuff like that to try to find farmers asking questions. There's probably farming forums and stuff there where they might be asking each other, all sorts of questions like, hey, what do you think of this versus that? What do you think of the Medic Seed versus other thing? You can find guys, asking questions. It's not like you'll get hundreds of questions a day. Unlike in stuff in weight loss where you probably will get a ton, because there's a ton of people looking to lose weight compared to a very small amount that are looking for, seed and stuff like this. But of the ones you find, you can kind of establish yourself right there. At the same time, you could try to use the guest blog tool to reach out to a handful of sites there that maybe specialize in farming type stuff, and basically talk about that right there. You could also reach out to stores and shops that might not sell it, but sell either like the farming type equipment or seeds or anything like that, and try to make a wholesale deal with them, because you say right now that most of the stuff you sell is on the wholesale side. So great, you can continue that, but at the same time, I'd encourage you to see who you sell wholesale to right now. Do some research on them. In fact, you can even use right here, if you go to the competition right here, and then click on backlinks, you can basically type in the distributor, as well as keywords like Medic Seed and stuff like that, and it will pull up a list of where all their links are basically coming from, so you can see where they get their traffic from, as well as where their competitors on page 1 of Google get their essentially all their traffic and stuff from too. And you can try to see, hey, do any of those appear to be other guys that maybe you kind of do a wholesale deal with right there, and you can reach out to them, knowing that they probably know that first one, and say, hey, I'm a wholesaler of Medic Seed for these guys right here. I just thought I'd reach out to see if you'd be interested in that. Here are the benefits of it. Here's why it's cost effective. Here's why the farmers love it. Yada yada. And that alone could probably help drive a decent amount of wholesale traffic right there. And that's on top of the direct sales that you could get on the Facebook side, and also again finding leads and stuff out there, and all that same stuff right there. And especially if you know that most of the sales happen between only like 2 or 3 months or so, you want to make sure to give yourself maybe, obviously now it's a bit, it's not like you can work ahead of time, because you said it's February to April, which, obviously we're in the middle of that right now. But you can start right now, but obviously next year you want to make sure you get all that stuff done, ahead of time. Reach out to all those guys ahead of time. And also at the same time, I'd encourage you to make a site. I didn't see a site that you had, so I think you don't have one. At least I didn't see a link passed on. But I encourage you to have a site because it gives you a chance to optimize that. It gives you a chance to rank for all that right there, especially if there's not a lot of competition out there. You have a very good chance of ranking for terms and stuff like that. You can also use the keyword tool and such to see what other keywords you might have a chance of ranking for and such right there. So that's that one. Sean, do you have anything to add on that, or we can move on to the next one then?
The only thing I wanted to add was you have this specific product name of the Medic seed, but it's apparently like a type of forage and things that I guess livestock would eat. And you can't promote a brand name if not everybody knows the brand, but you can also look to rank and promote the generic term, like, looking for the best forage kind of thing. Then you want to get, check out this thing here. The other thing is Brian was talking about, looking in forums and everything else. If you're for something like this where you're not making a lot of sales, but the sales that you make are hugely profitable, it's definitely worth looking for the people that are conversing in forums and being present there, because then when someone comes in and they need help and you're the expert and you're the helpful person, you're definitely going to be able to make a connection and potentially make huge sales to them, since their comfort level with you is going to be much higher than if they never heard of you before when they're out looking around.
All right, great stuff. So the next one was a person right here that sold, it was like all natural dog shampoo, and they sell it on Amazon. I don't believe they had a link to a site, so it looks like they probably exclusively sell on Amazon. I could be wrong on that. But it's basically all natural shampoo that if you read up on it, it can kill fleas and ticks and parasites, and it can soothe from bug bites and all sorts of stuff here. So a whole bunch of benefits, which are actually like pretty neat. And it can soften the coat and all that stuff right there. Now, a couple things. First, I love the fact that you have at least a few dozen reviews. I love the fact that you're 4.5 out of 5 stars there. So that's a great start right there. A few things that you can do since you have it on Amazon already. What you can do, and I'm sure you probably know it, but just in case, Amazon has a special program where you can basically sell your product for like a lot less for like a limited time to their members and stuff like that, just to get like a bunch of reviews and stuff. So that might be something you want to look into right there. Typically, you don't make like a profit on that, or you make a very small one, or not much, but you can get like a lot of reviews very fast and get a lot of products sold to make your products seem more popular, which can boost yourself up in the rankings as well. The other thing that I would consider is that if you want to look into trying to target Facebook ads and stuff like that, I would consider making your own page outside of Amazon. Reason being, even though you have like really awesome reviews and all that, what Amazon oftentimes does is it will compare similar items, and a lot of people oftentimes might say, okay, well, it's great they have a natural product right here, but ooh, here's one for $16 instead of $20, and it has more reviews. Maybe I should check out that and see. Now, you might say, well, yours is way better, so people will buy yours, but that's not necessarily always the case. Or yours is a larger weight, which it appears to be right here. People don't necessarily pay attention to that right there. So I definitely would try to look in. I mean, still continue selling on Amazon because that's absolutely great. But if you do paid ads or anything like that, look to have your own landing page and such, and also hopefully have some additional products and stuff that you can sell. So you're not just selling shampoo. Maybe there's other products and stuff you have that are all natural type products appealing to the same kind of buyer and stuff like that. The other thing that you can do is you could use the lead tools and stuff like that to actually find people asking questions on dog shampoo and stuff like that. And specifically, not only people asking questions on dog shampoos and what the best ones are, but you have all these benefits right here that you could separately target as well. Like there might be people asking, hey, is there a shampoo for dogs that kills fleas? Or, you know, what's the best way to help with fleas or parasites in dogs, or anything like that? Or is there an all-natural solution to fleas on dogs? So even though they're not necessarily asking for a shampoo, that could be a pretty good lead right there. And you know, if you sat down and brainstormed this, you could probably easily, probably just off the top of your head, probably have a dozen or more different kind of search terms that you could use, where each week, you know, you can set up a lead tool ahead of time where it can alert you to new leads and stuff out there, and each week maybe spend like a half hour or so answering a handful of questions, saying, you know, hey, you know, you want to watch out from some of the, you know, name brands because they have this ingredient and that, which can be harmful or aren't natural and yada yada. You know, I'm the seller of an all natural dog shampoo right here. We have ingredients like this, and this, which help with this, and this. You know, you can check out our page here. You can see all our great reviews right here to just kind of reinforce that you're not like a no-name place. And the questions that you post, again, can stay up for a long time and can get, you know, hundreds to even thousands of people seeing that over time. And I'll just do, there's a search I did. Let's see if we can find the right one. Not this one, not this one. Yeah, right here. So I used the real-time lead tool right here. And just out of curiosity, I searched for dog shampoo, and I put that in quotes. Now, you know, there's other terms that you could search for, like you could add stuff like natural, you could add stuff like fleas. There's a whole bunch of things where you can find like people asking all sorts of questions. I just said this is the first one I thought of right here. And you see there's a ton of people basically talking about dog shampoo, and that's the first search that I did right here. Now, obviously, not everyone will say dog shampoo. Some might say shampoo for dogs, which would be a separate, you know, search term right there. Or people might be asking, hey, what's a good shampoo for, you know, fleas on dogs, or anything like that. And you can search for that. You know, go through here, find ones that you think, hey, that's, you know, an easy question, or, you know, a post relevant to what I could help with. Go out here, click these links, answer those, you know, questions, provide value first and foremost. Like, don't just say buy here. Say, you know, hey, I see you're looking for, you know, help with fleas, or all natural help with fleas. You know, I sell an all natural shampoo that has this, and this. You want to look for shampoos with ingredients like this, and this, which help with this, that, and that. And you want to stay away from some brand names that have like ingredients like this because of this reason right here. Now, if you're interested, feel free to check out, you know, my shampoo and all the reviews we have right here. So even though you're providing a link and basically pushing a sales page, you know, you're providing value first and foremost, and you're offering a solution that, you know, isn't terribly expensive at the same time. Most people out there would find you super helpful in cases like that. And again, just like half hour to an hour a week could go a long ways right here. You could also use like the tweet lead tool under the social tab right here, and you could locate people, you know, anywhere you want that are basically complaining about maybe how their dog has fleas, or their dog has basically ticks, or anything like that. In fact, you know, we can probably do some searches there in a bit, but you'll find tons and tons of people complaining about that, and people love like the all natural solutions, which you are right there. So again, you can find a lot of leads that way. You can, you know, drive them. If you do a paid ad, I would try to drive them to a squeeze page, and I'd probably try some upsells and stuff there to really get the dollar value that you get higher, so you can afford to do more ads. If you're just basically doing like a random post, as like an answer. You can push them to your Amazon one because that has a lot of social proof. You have all the reviews there. You look really, really good there. People obviously trust that. So that's just a couple things that I would do off the top of my head right there. And again, if you really want to expand that even more, again, you could use a lot of the tools like Guest Blog Post Finder and establish yourself as an authority, offer to do guest blog posts in the field of like, dogs and dog care and stuff like that, to basically talk about, what they want to look for in a dog shampoo, what to stay away from, how to get rid of fleas and stuff, and all the stuff that your products and stuff would be relevant to. And then also on the flip side, if you want to go and make a handful of videos and stuff, like with the video Firestorm tool inside of Webfire, you could basically target a handful of keywords like, what is the best dog shampoo for fleas or ticks, or what are the best ingredients, or what are unsafe ingredients you should stay away from. Like, try to find a handful of keywords, see what people are searching for, and create like a bunch of easy, quick videos to basically target, all those searches that people might have related to your product. Now, I'm not saying you have to do all this at once. Obviously, that might be like, a lot of work initially, but if you spend even like an hour or two a week doing some of this stuff, it kind of expands your spider web out there, and helps you possibly grab more sales. Sean, do you have anything to add? And if not, we'll do maybe one more here, and then we'll save some.
Yeah, real quick, we've got some people are asking me different things like, okay, I don't know how to do X. Like, I don't know how to set up a blog. I don't know how to set up an opt-in page. I don't know how to do this. Now, there's two options for all this stuff, and one of which is do it yourself, and the second is get somebody else to do it, because anything you're going to do yourself, and I think it's great you want to learn how to do it yourself, you got to go through the learning curve, and it takes time. And going through the learning curve of how to build a web page so you can do like an opt-in page, so you can do it like one time. Why do you want to like spend hours learning how to do this when you could go to Fiverr.com and for $5 you could have your opt-in page done, and it could be done tomorrow. So I don't care how small your budget is, saving hours and hours of your time to get exactly what you want for $5 is a massive, massive trade-off. And so for a lot of your questions that you guys are asking, like, I don't know how to do this thing that's super hard for me because it's not my skill set. Most of this you could get done really cheap. Now, you obviously can't get, an amazing product created for $5, but for all this basic stuff like how to set up a blog, getting simple things, very, very cheap to be able to do. You definitely should take advantage of that. And if someone else makes it, somebody's asking a question, do you have control over it? Yes. So you get a domain, you say, I want you to put up a blog and use this template and do whatever. And as soon as they're done, you change the username and password, and then they can never log in again. So it's all done on your site. It's all yours. You control it. You own it. You just get them to do the work for you, just like you hired them to sit in your house and do it, except they're in probably another country. Back to you, Brian.
All right. So we'll do one more quick one right here. Then we'll save a bunch for next week. But for the next one, I'll let you guys decide by basically typing a 3 or 4. So the choices we have of the next two, and we'll probably save the next one for next week. Would you rather hear me do one for a realtor or one for an immigration attorney? If for a realtor, maybe type in 3. If for an immigration attorney, type in a 4. All right.
Wow, this is really close.
Yeah, Sean, I'll let you pick. So
I'm going to let everybody finish typing in.
All right. Yeah, it looks like it's really.
I would say close. 3s are slightly ahead right now, but here come the 4s are coming on strong. And now I know some people are going to be like, okay, somebody typed in like 27 4s. Thank you for helping to confuse me.
Well, it looks like a bunch more.
And thank you, Yaya, for voting like 11 times, because that's really not doing it. I think I believe that the 3s have won the day.
Okay.
But the fours were very popular as well.
Yeah, not that much. So we'll do the other one in next week then for sure. But we'll do the realtor one to wrap this up. So let me just pull up that one right here. So in this case, I just have a search term here because there was not a specific site or anything. I believe we actually had a couple of realtor ones, but in this case, the question was, if you're like a realtor, what can you do to basically market yourself better? What can you do to find leads and clients and sales and all that stuff? And of course, there's a handful of things that you can do right off the bat. Of course, one of the obvious ones is you want to have some kind of a site. You want to basically target terms in your title tags, like, let's say you specialize in a certain area. Make sure you have, like realtor for or realtor in, followed by the suburb or city or town that you're trying to basically target. You'd be surprised at the number of people that don't actually do that. They'll just say that they're like a realtor. They don't say the location that they specialize in. They might say it on their site, but they don't target it on their title tags. So if someone's like trying to say, hey, I'm trying to search for, a realtor that specializes in Middleton, they won't necessarily find, a ton there unless they do some more research and stuff. So right off the bat, you can have a site, change around the title tags, make sure you target the locations that you want to specialize in, or if there's a certain kind of real estate that you want to specialize in that area, like whether it's commercial real estate, luxury real estate, or whatever it might be, make sure to actually target that, in your title tags. That will basically give you the best opportunity to rank right off the bat right there. The other thing that you can do is you can use the lead tools and such to help find prospects out there and just nicely nudge them. So what you could do right here, so this is one. So right here, what I did right here is if I go to keywords and settings, looks like I have to re-log into that one right there. There we go. Every now and then on the tweet lead one, if you wait too long, you have to re-log back in. So on this one, where was it? I had it set up. Realtor right here. So what you want to do is you want to click that and then basically come up with like a handful of keywords that you think people might type in if they're looking for a realtor or looking to move. Obviously, you want to use like the everyday language that like a person uses, and you want to try to think it through and not be too broad or too narrow at the same time, because if you're too broad, you might get like a ton of leads and a lot might not be as relevant. If you're too narrow, obviously, you might not get a lot of leads, if any leads. I sometimes see guys that will have like a search term like looking for realtor in blah, blah, blah. And not a lot of people will type that exact phrase in. So you want to try to limit how exact you get right there. So just off the top of my head, I typed in realtor looking to move, house hunting, anything, like that. You could even do like moving or stuff like that. But again, you might have to weed through leads more or less. Then obviously, if you're a realtor, you probably specialize in a certain area. So you could search by location down here. So within maybe like X amount of miles or so. So like if you're, if you're trying to find people that are moving and staying within a local area, you say, hey, within like 20 miles or whatever it might be, of that, area right there. You just basically type in longitude and latitude, which it will give you that, info right here. If you click this link, it will give that info for you. You can click anywhere you want in the world. You can search within miles or kilometers for that right there. In this case, I didn't do the local search because I don't know the local area that you're going for. But to give you an idea, then you just click on leads right here. And again, you'd want to have some more search terms and stuff right there. That's just the first few I had off the top of my head. Some of these we will have to, probably weed through a bit more. Then we'd click leads. And if you're in a local area, you'll probably only get like a handful a week unless you're in like a larger city, but that's a good start. And then you want to kind of weed through it, and you'll see right here, like here's some, saying house hunting today, so they're clearly in the market. More saying house hunting stressful. And yeah, I can go through all these. Lot saying it's got them to be anxious. Oh, right here. Here's a person right here that they're calling up a realtor in 2 weeks. So they're basically telling you right now, they probably don't have one, but they're looking to move soon, and they need that right there. So obviously, you might have to weed through some, but that's a decent amount of people that are basically talking about needing to move or stuff like that. You can even do a search for like new job, or job offer, or basically anything like that. Here's a person that's looking to move by Sean, and that they have a sad face there. So yeah, that's like, and what you'd want to do in a case like this is just do like an easy reply back saying, hey, I see you're looking to move right here. By random chance I saw. I'm actually a realtor. I specialize in that area. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know, or if you want to see examples of stuff that I've sold or done, feel free to check me out right here. So it's just kind of like a nice way to introduce yourself right there, and possibly find some good leads. You could also, at the same time too, if you have like a blog post or anything like that, where you have like a handful of tips on how to increase the value of a house if they're looking to sell, or how to get like basically a cheaper price if they're looking to buy, you can have an article that basically talks about how to sell your house for more, or how to get a better offer in your localized area. So have like, and that not only can help be super useful here, it can help you also rank too for terms like that. So if you had, let's say, an article on how to sell your house for more in the Middleton, Wisconsin area, or how to find the best deal in real estate in the Middleton, Wisconsin area. Obviously there's not a lot of people competing for terms like that. Won't necessarily get thousands and thousands of searches a month, but the handful it gets obviously are highly targeted to you, and they're specialized in basically looking for exactly what you have to offer right there. And a lot of these are, a lot of the tips on how to increase the value of your homes, whether you're in Atlanta or Madison or Milton or San Francisco or Sydney or London. Oftentimes, like 90% of the tips are probably the exact same. There might be a few that are unique more to that location, but it's quite easy to whip up a bunch of articles or blog posts and stuff like that, and you can start to post those and get a lot of rankings that you can also use to drive traffic to your site and pick up a handful of clients that way as well. And also on the Facebook side too, you can also, if you want to basically target people looking to, let's say, sell within a certain area, you can pinpoint them within that area, and also like send them to those same articles on how to increase the value and the money that they can get when they're looking to sell. Have them go there, then kind of have like a light pitch into using you as a realtor and such, and how you can help them even more. Or on the flip side, if you want to find basically people looking to buy, you can kind of do the same thing. Basically target more of like a localized area, and then give like a reason for them to basically like reach out to you, sign up to your list or anything like that. And it could be as easy as you get special listings that of before they even hit the market. In some markets, that's really big. Like the market by me is pretty hot now in terms of there's not a lot of homes coming on the market, and there's a handful full of homes that once they're on the market, they sell in like a day or two. And sometimes like a realtor will know like a week or two ahead of time before stuff gets listed. And you know, if you advertise in like a hot market like that, you know, you get these listings and stuff ahead of time too, that can be all the more reason for guys to basically reach out to you right there. And you know, whether you do the free stuff or you try to advertise some on Facebook, both of these are great ways to try to get you know, more guys basically coming to you. You can also, again, use like the competition spying tool and stuff to spy on other realtors and stuff in your local area. Again, just go to the competition tool right here, and again, type in the competition's site, type in like the localized keywords and stuff, and see what links they have on their site, see who's sending them traffic and stuff like that, and see if you can maybe reach out to those guys and either pay for ads on those sites or offer to do guest blog posts and, you know, all that right there. Sean, is there anything else you want to add on that really quick right here?
No, I think that one's good.
All right. So with that, guys, next week we have a lot more that we'll cover, including the immigration one, which we didn't get to this time, but there's a handful of affiliate ones next week and a handful of some other cool products and such. So we'll make sure to do another call on that. And if there's any other sites that you'd like that you didn't send, you can feel free to send those in as well, or any kind of topics that you want us to cover at the same time. So with that, Sean, have there been any other questions? And if not, we can move on to give some cash away.
Hey, I gave sorry, I got to laugh because somebody typed in, you guys are diamonds and have now been promoted to family status. I assume that's a good thing. Yes, we got all the questions answered, I think, along the way, and we'll be good to go.
All right. So with that, if you want a chance to win $100, you can join our free Facebook group right here. You can just go to getwebfired.com/FB group. Again, getwebfired.com/FB group. That will just go to the Facebook page. Just click join. Again, it's free. Sharon will approve you probably, you know, within like a minute or two if you're not already a member. And what you'll have to do is towards the top of the page, Sharon has a post up basically asking what you thought of today's call. Her post will be probably about an hour old, so it'll be the newest post there. And what you want to do is if you leave a comment within that post, so try not to post like outside of that post right there, because that makes it a bit more hard to essentially count. So if you leave a comment within the post right there, we'll pick a random one in a few minutes. We'll actually do a complete random drawing live, so you can see it's completely random, and we'll PayPal over $100 to the winner. So I'll pause the screen as I go on over to there in case there's anyone confused on where that is and what to do. All right, let me just pull this up real quick. All right, so here it is right here. Again, you just go to getwebfired.com/FB group. It goes to our page right here. You can join if you're, and again, it's free to join this group right here. You'll see a post from Sharon about an hour ago, basically asking what you thought of the call. If you have any comments at all, or any topics that you'd like us to cover in the future, or anything at all, anything that we can improve upon or anything, feel free to let us know, and we'll pick a random one in just a minute or two right here. And again, just click the comment button right here. And of course, if you want to like and share and all that, we always love all that right there and appreciate that. All right, so just leave a comment right there. Then again, I'll give you maybe another few moments here to wrap that up, and then we'll pick a winner in a few moments here. All right, I'll give you maybe another 15 seconds to leave a comment. Then I'll go to a random number site to pick a winner. So again, all right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, I'll just refresh the page really quick. Sometimes it uses 1 or 2. All right. Oh yeah, looks like a bunch more popped up right there. All right, good, then I refreshed. All right, so count the ones outside of it just in case. There's sometimes few. So it looks like there's a few that posted in the wrong one. That's okay. I'll count those this time. All right, we have 1, 2 outside, 3. All right, 3 outside plus 45. All right, so 48. Sean, what do you think is the winner? 1 to 48.
5.
5. That'll be an easy one to count. So I'll click generate. 29. That's a bit more.
I was close.
Yep. All right. So 29 is the winner here. Let me count. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So Sherry Lowry. All right. So Sherry Lowry, if this is you or looks like you, and you're the owner of the pageant place, and you went zip lining at some point, and you look hopefully kind of like the person right there, congratulations, you are $100.
And she says, oh, sweet.
Or you will be as soon as you post your PayPal email up in the chat box, and Sharon will get that over to you as soon as you post that up. So once again, congratulations to Sherry Lowry for being this week's Wednesday Marketing Webinar winner. And with that, guys, if you have any other questions that pop up or anything like that, you can reach out to us at support@webfire.com, or inside the members area, you can click on the support desk in case there's ever any issue with emails or anything like that. You can use the support desk to guarantee that you can see all of the responses and stuff right there. And if there's any topics or anything else that you'd like us to essentially cover, talk about, let us know. And with that, next week we'll continue on with a handful of other ones that we think you guys will like a lot as well. So with that, guys, I hope you have a great rest of the week. I want to thank all of you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you again next week, Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So with that, guys, take care and talk to you later.